on a stream. So I think a good place to start, because we want to talk about what just happened in Bali, but I think we should widen the lens a little bit to start with, of like, how is it that you went from a student of sports science, someone who loves to train in the gym, to having a village in Bali? How can something like this happen?
Yeah, it was a step-by-step process when I started working online. So I think guys, maybe they know, like I made this app, and so I started working remotely. So I moved to Bali. So it was the first kind of like rich experience where I could really live a different life and really like experiment a really like completely different life. And then that's when I just started growing up and understood like what I really want. And yeah, I feel like the online stuff, the app was the first step for me to to get this freedom, to then level up to now where I want to live mostly with the like physical business and spend a bit less time on the online stuff, even though it's still like a big part of it, and I still really enjoy it, and it still contributes a lot. Like I would not have the Bytime Chamber if I was like completely out of social media and everything, because that's where I can share my ideas and everything. But it's all about like finding a good balance with it. And so that's what I wanted to like experiment the extreme of online. So like really go 100% on it, try to do my best. And then it was a bit like the other extreme now of like, okay, I'm gonna cancel, like delete everything and work 100% on the physical stuff. And now I learn also a lot on this, and now I want to combine a bit both and like, yeah, just learn what I had to learn, and now I find a good balance for a good lifestyle.
Appreciate sharing that. Yeah, one of the things that was interesting for me with coming to visit you, and we finally met face to face this year, was that your parents are also free thinkers, and they didn't want to follow the common
Yeah,
path, or they didn't want to live the average life as well. And in France, I would say that's even more rare maybe than in a lot of countries. Having visited and seen people from many places, many people from your parents' generation are very conservative, and they love
yeah.
France, and they love
Oh, yes.
the pate and the cheese, and nothing will take them away from it. In a way, they might
Yeah.
visit for a holiday, but your parents were really adventurous. Maybe you can share a little bit about them, because I think they're very special people and an important part of the story.
Yeah, I think I've been really lucky with this. It's just that they my father had a job when he was like 100% safe working for the country, so you cannot get fired or anything. And then that's when he started to like realize like, oh wow, I'm really gonna do this my whole life, and that's it. And that's the end. And that's when he like kind of freaked out and said like, okay, like I want to travel, I want to move, I want to see other stuff before I die. So they both my parents, my dad and my mom, they were like traveling a bit all around the world. They lived in Japan, New Caledonia, Sri Lanka, and it was like 30 years ago, so it wasn't the same world. Like you leave and you don't know anything about the world. You just take a ticket and you just don't know what's going to happen. So it's
Yeah.
completely different mindset. And I just had the chance to know that this opportunity is possible, that I could have this. I could just fuck off and just go somewhere else if I wanted to. So I think that's what makes like who I am also, is just the fact that I really early just understood that there is not only one path, there is many others, and I need to find the right one. I didn't take the same as my parents. I didn't just go backpacking and working in any restaurant or stuff like this. I wanted something different. I was also a bit maybe more ambitious on some aspects, and so that's why I wanted to create my own things. And
the story will continue. I'm sure it will come back. Yeah, it's his side that's paused. The importance of travel can't be understated.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there he is. It just dropped for a second. It's okay. I think that the importance of travel, man, is something that I would love to hear you speak to that topic, because it's sort of seen as a luxury, I think, in the modern world, and it is definitely a great privilege to be able to travel and see other locations. But maybe it's also an essential thing if you really want to know about yourself and see the best of yourself. Like maybe it's not as optional as we make out. I'm not really talking about going to party in other places or even following the backpacker track, but getting out of your environment that you grew up in is something that I would love for you to speak on a little bit. And if other guys want to tune in, like chime in with questions or places you've been, things around this, welcome to in the chat as well. And then we'll open up for more of a group conversation in a little. But yeah, you want to touch on that?
Yeah, 100%. It's the thing is, like, you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't move out of your like zone, like you cannot like really understand what you're missing and the other opportunity you could have. So one easy way to do this is just to move. Is just to go in another country, even if there is not like a clear goal or anything. If you just move into another country, you find a different culture, you find different people, and then you have just different ideas coming up. So yeah, it's okay.
Manu came back and saw me wearing his headphones, but he's all right. He doesn't mind.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like for me, like the Bali trip when I came here, it was just for the training camp in a gym. So it wasn't something I really expected, and it was just changing this environment and just being surrounded by other guys like me that lived completely differently, that just helped me to think like, okay, like there are actually like many other ways and many other opportunities. And that's when it's because of this move that I just came back to France. I sold everything and I said, okay, like I'm gonna go there because I know there is something to do there. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do, but there is something. And yeah, it all began with this. Like if I stayed in France, for sure, like all of this never happened. Even if I had the whole vision and say, okay, I want to do this, I want to do this, I think it would never be the same. I would never be close to what I did now. So I think the big advice is just make this first move. Like even if it's like a stupid move, just go to another country. You don't even know what you're gonna do. But yeah, just take a ticket to somewhere, just go, even if it's a week or something, just like know that you're going to be in a different vibes. And then you need to be prepared also in a good mindset where like you're looking for the opportunities, you're looking for something new. So many guys, and that's what, like now all the people, they just want to go travel, go holidays, but they're going to come to Bali, they're just going to do like the typical trip, see the monkeys, see this, come back to home and just never learn anything. So it all depends also in the attitude you're moving. So if you move and you really want to look for something different, I think that's when it can be really powerful.
And I think that's probably why people are on the call as well. And a lot of what draws people to explore with us is like they can see something else is going on and they're interested in what that might mean for them. Last funny question before we touch on the Bali time chamber, but you were in Australia during the lockdowns as well. We wanted to meet up. You were on one side of the country, I was on the other. It wasn't possible in Australia. Like what was your experience in Australia like, and how has that impacted your worldview?
Yeah, the Australian part was during the lockdown. So it was during COVID. We got stuck there for 8 months. So we were traveling with my friend in a van along the coast. So we were pretty lucky because we escaped kind of the whole lockdown thing, and we were like, on the beaches alone, and it was a great time. But yeah, it just also showed me about like the Western world, the good part, the bad parts, and it made me really confident about going back to Bali. Also, it was something like this because for me, Bali was the the place to go, because everything is way more simple there with less laws. It's like easier to do stuff. It just feel like you're free, and this is how the life should be. If you want to build something, you just build it, you just find solutions. You don't have crazy things to just make you give up on everything you're doing. So it was a great experience. It's like going back a bit to Western world and then going back to Indonesia, where life is different. It was a good experience.
So all of this has led to the creation of what was Munduk Leaf Lodge, that then became Bali Time Chamber. Can you share a bit about like the actual physical, how you came to have such a beautiful physical location, and then we can go into what just happened in the last month there.
At the beginning it was Mundo Cliff Lodge, because it was supposed to be just like an Airbnb project. It's just because I saw the potential of this area in Bali that's really, really quiet, really remote. And that's something I wanted for me and my girlfriend, just to settle there and like have a nice place where we could live. And so just to have some money coming in and get out a bit of the online business, I wanted to just build some cabins. It was pretty easy to do, and just get some money out of it. And it's mainly because of you when you came that everything changed. And that's why I'm grateful for this. Also, is because I knew it wasn't something that really inspired me, like doing an Airbnb thing, just welcome people I don't know for things that I'm not interested in. That's just not something really with a big purpose behind. So that's when we started talking about this, and I had this idea in mind already to make something for the guys like us, the guys who train. It's like way more meaningful, but I felt like, yeah, that's all on me after. Like it's kind of a lot of pressure, because Airbnb is pretty easy, just put on the website, welcome people, it's working, everything is set up. But doing the Bali Time Chamber was kind of a big deal, because I knew people not going to come for the platforms. I have to bring them, I have to motivate them to come, I have to create the whole concept. And but that's the thing, like when you came, I think you really gave me this ambition, also saying like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it myself. I'm gonna try it. It's really worth trying. So that's when I started like reconsidering the project, changing a bit what I started, change the name, go for something more meaningful. And yeah, like we were full on the first month already, so that was a big success. And yeah, we are like starting to open the whole year now. So we figured out a system so we can welcome people anytime, something that was a bit hard at the beginning. So yeah, it was quite of a challenge, but I think we're starting pretty well now.
Even from where you were, yeah, it was me. Even from where you were when we were there, like where most of the construction was pretty well done and like things were getting towards, you did a lot between that time and when you had your first guests with getting the training area sorted. And I mean, there was so much work to do still in the last cabins and stuff. It seems like you really enjoy that side of things as well. It's like people ask you like if you're an architect or like the design side of what you've done is amazing as well. Maybe you can, how does have you always known that was there, or did that come more with this project?
No, it's more like adaptation. I've always been a bit I like to like build some stuff, but like easy stuff I can do myself. And taking on this big project, I just did it because I knew I had the great people around me. I had this great team of guys that I could trust. And yeah, that's they made me feel like I could do a lot, and they expected a lot out of me, because they were in a really tricky situation. They had absolutely zero work after the COVID and everything. So it was kind of, all right, this is one guy's gonna invest here, so it's gonna be some work. We're gonna work. We're gonna have money. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna do my best. And I really like this. I like creating. I like dreaming. I like seeing like new things. So the architecture part, I would say it wasn't that complicated. Like I feel like everyone can kind of do it. You just download like SketchUp on the app, and it's just like you just draw lines everywhere and just make a house out of it. Just try to make a good space, and that's what I like creating. So it was a really really enjoyable part, I think, because yeah, it is really. I just saw like a few days ago we made a nice edit on Instagram where we see the miniature we made with my friend. So it was just like small pieces of carton, just like see how we can do the stuff. And it was crazy to see that it looked actually exactly the same on the drone video. So that's like the most exciting part, is like bringing something that's only in your head in the real world, and like you see that just it becomes real. I feel like you feel so enthusiastic, and just like it makes you feel, oh wow, I want to do more of this. Like that's awesome, and definitely I want to do more of it. So we'll see.
We had some deep conversations while we were there about, you know, religion and about doing good and about how it all works. And to me, what you just said is at the heart of it. Like when it feels really good and you just know it's what you're meant to be doing and you're doing a good thing and you're creating something, I think that is at the essence of what we're meant to do, in my opinion. And a lot of the barriers, a lot of the beef that I have, the challenge that I have with the Western world is they're just putting more and more and more barriers between being creative and making beautiful things and a man like us who wants to build something beautiful. And if you really get down to it, like there's a very destructive force there as well, with extreme taxation, but with poison in the food, with poison in the water, with poison in the education system. It's a lot of destructive force. And, you know, we had these kind of conversations around, okay, well, if that's the reality, then what are we going to do? Are we going to sit and moan about it? Or are we going to build something that maybe other people can experience? And you just gave men that experience. Did it work?
Yeah. I think that's what you said. Like, I feel we are all meant to create and to create, to really like dream and express our visions like this. And it's just that the world we are living in, unfortunately, is just killing this whole creating part of us. It's really killing it, because we feel like I'm just in France. I feel like everything is impossible. I cannot do anything. So I just feel really powerless. And then it's really easy to just start being lazy and stuff. Like, yeah, but that's how it is. That's just not how it is. Like, you just need to go somewhere where you can really express this creativity. And I wish this to everyone. Like, really, like when you have this creative part in you, like really activated, and you're like really thinking about projects, future, that's just like, wow, this every day is awesome. And every day, even if you have so many troubles, like during the construction, every day we had oh yeah, we cannot do this, oh this broke, and we fucked up this, and there is problems here. But you just on the way to making something really beautiful that you don't care, you don't really care. Like, it's just like everything is still beautiful, and at the end it just becomes magic. And yeah, you just want to do more, and that's the beauty of it. You just need to start. Once you start, then you have the energy to just do more. And the more you do, the more you feel capable, the more you feel you're growing up, like you getting more skills, you feel really confident, and all these things. I feel like this is really worth doing. Like, take all the risks to live this, because if you don't, it's pretty sad life.
You can put your hand up as well, guys, or use the chat box if you have a question that you want to ask or something that you want to contribute here. But yeah, for me, it gets very sad very fast. If I stop building, if I stop creating, it's like 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, oh geez, something has to change pretty fast. Like I even when I was on the road and going for years on the road, I was part of projects. I was doing this, I was doing that, I was looking for solutions. And as soon as it was like, what am I doing? 2 or 3 days it's enough for it to be to feel crazy. So I think there's something within us that is meant to drive towards creation, and then the distraction is part of the destruction. And I think that's the pushback that we have against social media and digital relationships to an extent. It's not the same us being here, across the Zoom versus when we're there in the same room having the steaks and having this discussion. But it's still something at the moment. And until we can have many of these villages, many cities, many people like this, I think we should use the tools that we have and connect and grow. And I know that if we didn't have that connection, I wouldn't have met you in Bali. And the conversation that we had, that we were consistently having of like, okay, we need really high quality men. We need men who are really wealthy and are building athleticism. And the last email that you've just sent is like, yeah, the levels are going to be high. Like the standards have to be high. I'm not just going to take the money from this thing. I want the people here who should be here, and we'll do something. The money will work itself out, but let's worry about the values. Let's worry about building something amazing. It was Nico that really pushed towards the pro. You know, I was battling with this $97 product, giving it everything I could. But in some way, I was resentful of people buying a $97 product as well, because I knew it was worth a lot more than that. And Nico was saying, hey, we have to level this thing up. That was the conversation over and over. And that was straight after that, I changed to a $2,000 product with Uncommon Success. And most of the people on the call today have joined are on that deal. And it's been massive. You know, it's changed the game completely in Uncommon Success. We still definitely want to level up the standards, you know, way more. But ideally, my role is building the foundation that when someone comes to Bali Time Chamber, they're already strong. They already have a vision for their future. They're already eating well. And for sure, the Time Chamber is going to 10x whatever they come with, because I had that experience as well. Like we had that experience there together.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do with the Time Chamber. For me, it's really about this. Like I said in the mail, is like I want to kind of make a selection. I don't want to just welcome any people. It's just going to be at the beginning to launch it, so like more people can come. But for sure, like as soon as I can, I want to close the gates. I want to like people to come only on recommendations, so I know I can trust the guys that brings other guys. And the most important thing for me is really level up, and because I don't want to have lazy guys around me. Like it's like nothing bad around this. Like I have many friends that's fine with what they do, and it's fine, but that's just not what I want in my daily life. Like and especially here in the Bali Time Chamber, for me, the standards need to be higher and higher every year. And that's why I sent this mail, just explain that. Yeah, this is I think the last year. I think like until the end of the year, I can have a really nice group of guys. I already selected a few of them that I know I can trust. So I know if they want to bring people, we can make better pricing. We can arrange, because like the goal is really this. It's just I don't want to have lazy guys that just don't have really any ambitions or anything. And you just need one. You just need one in the group, and it just brings everyone down. So for me, it's really, really important. That's the priority. The selection is what makes the project powerful, because it's not really about the money. Like I said, I know that like if we have this strong crew, money is not a problem anymore after. Because it's going to be so much solutions and opportunities. And as long as we have a strong crew, we don't care about the money. Like it's going to come by itself. So trading the money at the beginning without putting the standard higher, I think for me, that's the best way to just make money short term and make the projects just fall or like just not be really meaningful. So I think it's important to level up like this. And yeah, same for income. That's the same idea.
I think it makes sense as well that we kind of leave the doors open this year, because some people, the reality is some people can really change. Like there are people that have joined my programs that weren't proud of themselves. They knew they needed to make a big change, and they were able to make that big change. And it's good that thing exists, and probably better to do digitally in a way. If you can make that change at a distance before actually having to be face to face, then that's a great thing. It's not necessarily the fault of the individual. In my mind, it's an engineered system. Like we're all engineered to kind of think small.
Yeah, for me, it's even a guy that like didn't do anything yet, and it's just about the attitude. It's just about the attitude. Like, do you really want to make change? Like that's the only thing. Like even if you cannot do even one pull up or one push up, I don't care. Like as long as you feel like, okay, I'm ready to put in the work and I'm ready to give 100%. That's just the energy I want. That's only this. It's not about like I'm only gonna accept guys who can bench press 200, or I don't care about this. It's just more about, the attitude, like what are you going to bring? What energy are you going to come with?
Yeah. But it's difficult. Like, I think it's one of the easiest ways to prove attitude and character is to have a body that you're proud of. Like, that's why athletic is the foundation of uncommon success. There's a million business development programs out there and things that tell you, hey, you're going to make more money and such. I don't know if you're going to make more money, but if you have discipline and you believe in yourself, you have confidence, if you're proud of yourself, then probably you're going to be able to make more money, because that's what other people are looking for. They're looking for people who are going to bring them up. And I agree with you that it's like the willingness that's the most important thing. It's not that they already have the result. But for anyone listening, the best way is to get to work with it now, work on yourself, develop yourself, refine that discipline. It's not going to be perfect every day. I'm not perfect. But the easiest way to show your character, I believe, is through physicality. And I think that's why people like Jocko Willink and David Goggins and Joe Rogan and even Andrew Tate emerge, because they have physicality on their side. And you can't fake the physicality of the way Joe Rogan can kick and the way Jocko makes his puddle of sweat every day, and Goggins, like, I would advise taking on that philosophy and test it. If for everybody here direct on the call and everybody else, if we can do that, it's sort of give us like a common bond and a foundation of, okay, he's in. It's not some weird ritual. It's just like, can you discipline yourself to get after it?
Yeah. For me, that's the most important. That's how I started, like really young. I just felt like, I need to prove myself. I need to show like who I am, and it's really easy. It's not something that's complicated to start, or you have to have money, you have to have this. You just go down, you do some push-ups, you do some pull-ups on the door, you do anything, you go run. You just show that you're going to do something, and you're just not going to sit down and just wait until something changes. So for me, like you said, physicality is one of the most important thing. I think it's just the beginning of everything. I like this idea, like how like Greece was walking before, like they were like just wrestling from really young until they grew up, and then when they start growing up, they can start to do a philosophy and just like think about the world. But first, you have to put on the work. You have to do things. You have to sweat. You have to feel the pain. You have to feel all these things, and then you have a clear mind and you can do other stuff. So for me, so it's about this, because I have kind of like always like weird feeling for me, like when guys, they're like a lot of onto businesses, but they don't even have like just an average body. They have like a really shit body. For me, something that just speak itself, like it just shows your character. And most of the time, guys like this, I know I'm not gonna be it's gonna be great discussions together, just because I know we not have the same value. And it is true at the end. Like when you have a guys how put on the work and just have a bit of performances, can do some pull-ups, can do some things, then we can start talking on the same values and stuff. But if you never try this, we're just not speaking the same language. We cannot really agree on anything after. It's really hard.
Yeah. There's something that it builds into you when you do the kind of training that's on motion concept. And I believe that we have something special that's hard to put into words with this style of training. There was real movement, it was motion concept. Now we use it with uncommon success. It doesn't really have a name, but it's a hybrid of learning things and doing things that feel weird and that are awkward for learning new motor patterns and new patterns, but then also the physicality and the strength and the mobility. Like, very few people are ready to take on this challenge. It's like the most difficult way of training from what I can see, to be able to do some weightlifting, some calisthenics, some mobility, some skills. What are your thoughts about like how that training system or everything that you've evolved? And we've been doing similar things over the years, but always a bit different as well. How do you think that it has impacted the way that you are?
Yeah, for me, it's like an expression also of our view on the world. Like we don't want to just have a strong bench press and squat. I don't know. We want to do many other things. We want to be a complete athlete, but complete athlete is the first part of being a complete human. And then that's why, like, when you get even stronger into training, you juggle better everything. You have like it's like logical, like you're gonna think about business, you're gonna think about family, you're gonna think about these things because it's in our blood, it's what we really want. And for me, you cannot like do a training like this, try to be good at everything, and then don't evolve. Like for me, it's the foundation that's just gonna change your mind and then reconnect you with all the deep values that you need around you. And yeah, for me, yeah, training teaches everything. I feel like even if you cannot read any book, if you cannot speak any language, you can train and you can learn all the values you need for your life. For me, it's everything can come from training, because you're gonna learn everything. You're gonna learn the discipline. You're gonna have some pain. You're gonna have to be smart. You're gonna have to be patient. You're gonna have to learn all of this stuff, face all the challenges. And you can never give up, because like if you just give up on an injury or anything, what do? Just sit down and stop? Like there is no options. Like you have to keep learning new things. And the thing with training is like you have to put on the work. Like it's not something you just read and you can say, okay, I understand now. No, like if you don't do the push-ups, if you don't do the pull-ups, you cannot learn. You can read like as many books as you want, you're never gonna learn. So yeah, for me, training is the main first thing you have to do. It's like unnegotiable thing that you have to do. And the better you get, the more you're gonna have insights and the more you're gonna be better at other aspects of your life. Yeah.
The injuries and the fatigue and things are things that they're the gifts within it as well. Like for sure, at some stage you're going to be like, man, I pushed that too hard. I'm really struggling at the moment, or this thing hurts and I don't know how to solve it. But there's so much blessing in that as well, the struggle and the physical struggle in solving that, because for sure business is not going to be a beautiful linear journey where everyone just jumps in and loves what you do.
Exactly, that's what it's just a perfect journey. Like training just really teaches you everything. And yeah, like if I didn't have my knee injury, I would have never been the same. Like now, I would never been the guy I am now, and I would have maybe another injury, but I would have need this big injury to teach me like what I can do. And like because it is a pretty big thing. Like when you get really injured pretty badly and you cannot do the movements you can do in your daily life, you feel like you're losing freedom, you're losing a bit who you are, you cannot express what you have inside. It's like a lot of frustration. And learn to like control and manage all of this. That's really, really powerful, and that just helps you for everything. Then when you have like a business problem, like something doesn't work, it's like, yeah, I already did this, and I can do it again.
Irian has a question there. I think he's been waiting for a long time.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No worries. I'm fine. On you guys?
Excellent. Thank you.
Can you hear me well?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It was more, I'm living in France as well. And I know, as you said, Nico, it's pretty hard to start businesses in France and everything. I have a question about more of the financial aspects of creating your Bali Time Chamber. Did you manage to have enough money with your online business to create all this thing and to maybe buy the land, construct everything, or you had to get a loan? And if yes, was it in Bali or in France, or how does it work for you?
Yeah, I had no loan, because that's something also my parent taught me to do with what you have, and that's it. So I always did with what I had, and that's what I explained also to Keegan when he came. So some things I don't talk a lot about, but I've always been like this on the business. I've always really young, like played with buying something, selling more expensive, buying something.
Okay.
I started with the bicycle, then the bike, then the car. At some point I did some boats in France. Just buy one, just make it a bit better, sell it again. So I could have like some money out of this. And for sure, the money on the app helped me live through the whole thing. So then I made the house also in Bali. Like the first one was like the big investment for me that I could sell way more after. And that helped me to also finance this kind of project. So it was a really step-by-step thing to every time do with what I have. So some people are never gonna give you this advice to like always like sell the whole thing and buy a new thing because it's pretty risky to do.
Mhm.
Most of the people are going to
Yeah.
tell you to keep everything, buy assets, like do the thing slowly. But that's just not how I did it. But I'm sure there is many ways to do it. But for me, it was just every time going all in on everything, just sell, buy something else, sell again until I have more stuff, and we'll see later.
Okay. Nice. Thank you.
So far so good, Nico.
Yeah.
And that I should mention here that this morning I spoke with another multi-millionaire. And the first time I spoke to him, I told him about our values and what we're building. And he's in his late 60s. Like, imagine if you're in your late 60s and you met an organization like this, and you're kind of frustrated that you didn't like the way the world was going, and you couldn't really find anyone to talk to about it. And then you found out that this exists. I guarantee you there are tens of thousands of people over 50 who are in exactly that situation that I just described. I met one of them today, and that could be a life-changing relationship for Uncommon Success for this network. And I'm certain that if we continue down this path, we have the data to prove what we're doing. Like, that is what we're doing with the app. And I don't think most people understand this. I haven't really explained it, but we're proving that we have these values and that we work together and that we're building things by the number of calls that are happening within the network, by the number of push-ups that are being done, by the challenges that we're executing, by the attendance to the villages. How many guys from Uncommon Success just went to Bali? That is proof of the concept. How many people have been to Montenegro village now? I think it's 21. How many have been to Vanuatu? We're very, very early, but as the numbers get bigger, it becomes a smarter and easier decision for an investor to go, okay, yeah, we build another village. Or, okay, yeah, we upgrade this village. And maybe we're all going to be able to self-fund. Like, this is not the only path to find some rich guy who gifts us opportunity. Maybe I'm going to be the rich guy who can do a lot of that stuff. I don't know. Maybe Nico is. Maybe I don't know. But I know if we keep going in this direction where we have more and more proof and more better things and more people, what else out there is there like this? Like, if you know something else out like this, drop it in the chat box. Personally, I know of nothing similar to what we're doing, but I think there are millions of people who feel the same frustrations that we have. We just haven't, we've got an Instagram that has 300 followers now with Uncommon Game since our other one got deleted by Facebook. I think it was because I put something about like building a decentralized country or something, and it breaks their guidelines. I don't know, but you go.
That's what I said. I think it's really important. It's our responsibility. So it's good you say it. It's like all the guys like listening now. It's like it's really our responsibility to do this, and like just getting a bit stronger on your squats, getting a bit more mobile, like learn juggling, learn handstand things. It sounds a bit silly, but this is really important. Like that's where we start. So like for me, we have to take this really seriously, and like really like getting up the numbers, learning new skills, getting stronger, do the handstand push-up. It's not just about the handstand push-up. We don't really care about the handstand push-up, but it's showing that we are doing the work. And that's why we need to take it really seriously. And like as serious as you want to make money, you want to do this is really serious, because it starts here. So for me, that's like you said, like we need to make this data really strong, like show that the guys here, they earned the respect, they did the work, and that's what's gonna be really, really powerful in the future after.
That's why I like the name that we went to, the pro, like professional, like treated it like a professional athlete. So many men have the dream of becoming a professional athlete, but being a professional athlete compared to being an Uncommon Success professional, or a professional in what we're talking about here, it's nothing in comparison. You're a professional athlete. It's bread and circus. It's been spoken about through the ages. A player in that sense is someone who there's a lot of stuff around distraction. There's a lot of effort to distract the common man these days, and there's something better than being a distraction. It's choosing to be the best you can be and being a professional in that. And a lot of people think, if I was a professional athlete, then I would get to bed early. I would eat well, I would train hard. so many people think, oh, if the money came, then I would treat myself like that. But it's the other way around. If you treat yourself like that, then the money will come and the opportunity will come and the people will come and the respect. Men need to be respected and they need to be proud. They don't need to be told you're beautiful just the way you are. Nico, you're beautiful just the way you are. You know, don't change a thing. Like, you just say, fuck off, man. But if you say like, bro, like I'm, you know, it's an honor to be a friend of yours and to see what you've done there and what you've created and the opportunity that you've just given to these men is one of the greatest things that I've seen anyone do. You know, that's something different to being told, oh, you're beautiful. No, if the female energy is different. The woman loves to be told that she's beautiful, and they're the beautiful ones. You know, we're we're something different, and we're meant to be these creative beings. So what next? I know there's some things you can share. There's some things I don't know if you want to, but what's on your mind going forward?
Yeah, forward. So we started open like for the whole year. So that's the new thing also with the time chamber. Like before, I was thinking about just doing events and just welcoming people just for specific dates. But I want to keep life happening here, and I want many guys ask to stay already. Like some guys are gonna stay until August. They're gonna stay 3 months, 4 months. So I want this energy. So guys living here, because I know it's gonna bring a lot of new things. And I also
you're gonna get so crazy strong, man. Like what the I think one month was like you're already dipping 120. Like
it's been a really great month. Like I've never trained like this, and I've never felt like so much energy every day. Like I really didn't feel tired during the whole month. We were just recovering so fast because we were, I don't know, just so exciting every day, doing a bunch of sauna, a bit more cold, really like focusing on eating really well. So it was a crazy month. So I really didn't expect to get the 120 dip and things like this. So it was really cool. So I could really feel the power of having these guys around me. And that's the thing, like you really become who like the guys around you are, like, and because I have guys who can dips way more than me, that's just makes me dips more. It's like hard to explain, but like that's just how it works. You have guys who do muscle ups, then you just get better at muscle ups because you just see them every day, and there's a few things going on. But yeah, I just want to keep doing this, and like I said, I have another land next to this one, a bigger one that I already bought. So I'm just waiting because now I don't have much more finances. Like I invested a lot into a time chamber, invested a lot in the land, and I want to keep some for also building projects here. So that's what I'm just seeing with the guys. I already have a bunch of guys who are ready to invest with me. So we're going to start doing something. And that's what I want as a next project, is just not doing myself. I think it's more like I'm kind of confident now because I did it myself one time. So I see that there is no big risk. I manage the situation. I know how it works. And now I feel like, okay, now we need to bring more people because there's so much I can do alone. So when you have a bunch of guys that put 100K, 200K each, it becomes really quick something big. Like you can really make something really huge. And yeah, I think we're gonna build something pretty impressive. Like I didn't expect to do the time chamber, so if I have a bunch of guys investing with me, it's gonna get huge really quick. So we'll see how it's gonna go in the next years, but I'm pretty confident. Like big things that like I cannot really imagine yet are gonna happen for sure.
What would, if you were listening to this conversation when you were 21 and someone said 100K, 200K, you know, get involved, what would you have felt at that time? What would your advice be to someone who's listening to this thinking like,
yeah, that would have been just crazy. I think just yeah, like 2 years, 3 years ago, I was like completely different also before starting this kind of projects. And I think what I would felt like before, I think I would have feel like, yeah, like too much money is not good. Why chasing so much bigger things? Like we can just be happy with what we have. It's like we need to like just do our thing. And I feel like it's just like something that we try to put in our head. Like we just need to do the things alone, be happy alone, and just not try to dream too big. Because when it's a really big project or there is a lot of money involved, like it's kind of bad. Like you know, it's like I had this in my mind for a really long time, like growing up in France, and I kind of like broke a bit this mind thing, and now I feel like, yeah, just we will never have enough money. Like we will never have enough money. Like I have more money, I just buy more land, I just make more buildings, and it's just gonna be more epic. So I'm really chasing more, and without, you know, like not being happy with what we have. Like you can still be really happy with what you have at the moment. Doesn't mean that you have to just be happy with this and not try to get better. It's like you have to keep trying to get more and do more, get richer, get stronger, everything. Doesn't mean you're not happy with what's happening right now. So I'm 100% happy with what's happening, but I definitely want way more. I want to create more, because that's where I feel like I feel the most. It's not about happiness, but like meaning. It's just meaning. I feel like just it makes sense when life makes sense. That's just way beyond happiness. It's like something different.
Yeah, it's the achiever and fulfillment in balance with each other. Like I think we spoke about it maybe when I was there. One of the network was talking to me about it. Like that hunger for achievement is what has driven the beautiful buildings that you see in Europe and in Asia and the pyramids. And there's a hunger for achievement. At the same time, you can feel fulfilled and you can feel joy and beauty at looking at the mountains and just going, oh, you know, how beautiful this is and how wonderful it is and how great it is that I get to eat this steak today, and simple things, seeing my son here asleep, and you know, these things are beautiful as well. But it doesn't mean stop. And
yeah exactly. I think for a long time everyone just was telling me that I was just a dreamer, like dream a lot. I know I was just talking about many things all the time, and every time like the kind of advice is like, yeah, you should just, yeah, like don't dream too much because you're gonna be sad. And no, that's just the opposite. It's like when I dream a lot and I imagine big things, that's when I feel really happy, and that's when I feel a lot of energy. So yeah, there is something into this that I think they trying like to like keep us a bit small, like just break a bit the mind, and think that you cannot do much. But when you really look around and when you start doing things, you feel like, whoa, every time it's just, you feel like so far there is so much more to do. And that's really exciting. If you feel like, oh yeah, I'm already doing great, it's fine, I'm in a good situation. Like I hate that feeling, like, well, so it's the end, like, well, it's great, I succeed, I'm done. So no, like it's just like you just arrive at the top of the mountain and you see another top, and it's always even higher and higher, and that's what makes it really beautiful.
And when it starts to be a team game, that there really is no end, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to experiment more, because until now I did a lot alone, and that's what the big transition for me is really bringing the people together and find systems where we can really reconnect, because I think that's what we will need, and that's what's we all really want deep down.
Yeah, there's only so much that you can change with just getting yourself fit and strong and having money. And then I got to that position in 2021, living on a tiny little island, and I'm sitting there during the middle of the crypto bull market, multiple millions, training, everything's good, but it was the worst time. I was like, what am I going to do now? Like I've done everything. I don't really need to work. Like what am I going to do? That's when I started Uncommon Success, and it was like a real battle to make it into the beautiful thing that it is now 2 years later. But the process of that, as soon as I started the process again, I was alive again, and I don't think I'm ever going to not have that now. You know, I think this is a project for life that can't really be finished, to have the locations, the people, everything that we're doing. And you know, I see the same with what you're doing, and you know, forming those connections and alliances and enjoying it together. I can't think of anything better than that. You know, it's the best.
Yeah, exactly. For me, I really feel it's the next step. That's why I always tell to my friends, is like, yeah, I could like just live my life. Like we're a really good situation. Like we have a roof, we have the best view, we have the best food, have my girlfriend, I have everything I want. It's perfect. But the thing I want is just more people involved, like, because I feel like when we have this energy and I go down during the time chamber and there was like 5 people training, 2 people, 2 guys in the sauna, you just want to do everything. You just feel like, wow, every day is so exciting. And that's what I want to keep. That's what I want to keep. I don't want to sit down and have the perfect life just like this. It just doesn't make any sense.
Casper's got a question there.
Yeah, hey Nico, man.
Hey.
Yeah, I was on your program as well, and you actually helped me get my first handstand push-up. So I just want to thank you
Nice.
for that.
Congratulations.
So impressed with what you're doing there, man. Like you're really living the dream life. I would love to do something like that myself. But yeah, I just had a question in terms of the next buildings there. Is there anything you want to change up from what you're currently doing, or like any upgrades you wanna make?
Yeah. So thank you. And for this project, there is nothing I really want to change on this one. I think it's really good like it is. It's working pretty well. It's just about like being really well set up, having the good team working. So I think next month something should be really 100% like running alone. So everything is gonna be great here. And for me, it's more about leveling up and like trying to get to something else. Like this one is working really well. Is the level 1, and we're gonna just go to the level 2 and and see how far we can go.
Yeah, see how far you can take this.
Yeah, and I think one of the upgrade I think in my mind for other projects is also making it a bit more for families also. It's like just being able to really settle on some places, like really have this village vibes. That's something I really want, because that's something I've always like I have in my mind. And for now it's not kind of the village, it's like single guys that comes to smash it, and it comes to train really hard and just like level up, and just like for me it's like become a real man, it's like really level up. But after like becoming a real man, for me it's also about building families, raising children and all of that. So that's also in my mind for the next project. That's something I want. I think maybe next year, 2 years, I don't know, but have a child. So that's something that motivates me a lot. So I would love to have a strong project like this when we can really raise children and have this like beautiful environments with the family vibes.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Get your children going, boys, men. How many children are you going to have? Drop it in the chat box. Sven, Charleston.
I think Fabien has a good news. Yeah.
Anybody else?
Actually,
Yeah, we're expecting for March, February.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I'm happy listening to you, Nico, talking about the next step with the families, because I want to go to Bali to work with you on the video stuff and help you with that. I'm really 100% in, but I am like we're expecting at the moment, and she's a bit scared, like being just surrounded by men, and where does she gonna find a place? And I know you have your girlfriend there, and you told me she's happy. She's like living in the paradise.
Yeah,
but
100%. That's why like we have kind of like 2 areas in my spot. So like the cabins where I live. So my girlfriend stay there. She has everything up there. She has the small gym on the balcony. She has the full kitchen, the whole house. So she's 100% happy. And that's something I would love to do also here. It's like still have some areas for men and for women. That's the kind of thing I think that's really powerful. Is when women can connect also together, and when guys also can have this men time all together. So having a village like this that would be designed especially for this. So it would be some areas maybe when it's like mostly men's that's just gonna train and have this big brotherhood energy that we need, and also like be able to just go back home, and find a wife, spend time with the children, and have all of this. Because for now, I'm the only one lucky to be to have this, because I have my cabin here to have my girlfriend and everything. But the other guys, they don't. So most of the time when they come to this experience, they come also to a big commitment of like, okay, I need to go get away for like maybe a month and not see each other. So I know it can be a bit tricky for some guys, even though I think it's also really powerful to have some breaks like this, and coming back as a new man also, that's something pretty strong. But yeah, the energy I want is people staying long time. So if you want to stay long time, we need to find a good design for the whole family.
That sounds very great. Good to hear.
That's what's actually, I just wanted to get my question in. I watched your video about the time chamber. I found it awesome. Immediately, I went to my girlfriend, showed her the video, and said, I want to go there. First thing she said, oh, you sold it really badly to me. What should I do at this time? You there with just the guys working out, and what should I do? So that, and my question was, okay, is there a place I could put my girlfriend in the time I'm in the time chamber, in like a girlfriend chamber next to it, where you can just your girlfriend can stay there and have a great time as well, and I can go to the other place.
Yeah, it could be something like this also. At the moment, like my friend Nicolas, he came here, and his girlfriend did this actually. She just like rent something nearby and just get a scooter, just drive away, just saw some land, get like a holiday also, get some time alone with other girlfriends. I think it can be also something like this. Need to keep thinking about how to make it the best possible, and not just okay, go away and then we meet in a month. But if we have like a good place where they could actually also help each other, like if a lot of them have children, I think it's a big support to do this. So that would be something also really interesting to think about and to design pretty well.
Thanks.
Justin.
Yeah. Hey, Nico. What's going on, Keegan? So I just had a different type of question. All the girlfriend stuff is good. I have a girlfriend myself, so that'd be pretty cool if I could, bring it with me. But she stays at her own place, and we get to work. That would be great. But yeah, I think for me, I'm like a little younger than mostly everybody here. But I think, I want to create an app eventually for my own type of training. And I wanted to ask you, like, when that whole process was going on, of like how you wanted to create your app, some of the programs you wrote, like what was, I guess, some of like the difficulties and like the process of like getting it up and progressing it forward. Yeah, like I said, I always did with what I had, and I would like never done the app. I think if my friend were not able to do it, that's something I did with a friend of mine that was working in informatics, so he could do it. So we made this business like 50-50. We were working together. He was managing the whole app thing, and I was putting on the training methods and everything. So I don't know exactly how it works, because for me it was like 5 years ago maybe. So I think now there is maybe way more opportunities to create app way easier than 5 years ago. So I don't really know exactly. I cannot really give great advice for this. For me, it was more like the opportunity to have my friend able to do this. So we did the website together, and then when he learned how to do the app, we just did it together. And it was a lot of work. We worked for like around a year nonstop to be able to launch it, because it was a lot of key codes, everything. So it was a lot of work. But yeah, I think there are like a lot of more ways to do it now. And even if it's not an app, even if it's something different, I think there are many ways to share the training methods, to many other ways that can work. So I would say that if, for example, you want to do an app and there is too much obstacles on the way, like just find something else,
or just adapt, because there is many ways. So you just do with what you have. So what works the best. If maybe you have a friend doing something different, you have a special opportunity, my best advice would do like to just really adapt to what your skills are, and what you have and what the guys around you have.
Part of the fun of having this conversation is that you can't help but be challenged of like, well, if he's done it, what am I doing? Maybe I could. That little bit of doubt of maybe I could. It's easy to have the doubt of, oh, maybe it won't work out for me. Maybe I couldn't. Maybe I can't get the money together. Maybe no one would come to my village. You can have all that doubt. But what if it worked? What if you did have an app and it worked? What if you did build a location for people to go to and it worked? If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, because you just keep going. You just find the next thing and keep working, find a solution. Unless you're dead, it's not over. But if it works, then everything changes. And most men don't have that kind of play in their life. They've settled for something which is what they've been engineered to do, socially engineered to kind of feel like, oh, this is almost comfortable. I can almost put up with this. But this conversation seeds the doubt of, well, what if I could? What if that was an opportunity for me as well?
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. I think the like powerful advice, like something I would give to everyone, is just it's really try to really analyze you and your environment really well. So what is really special about you? Like, yeah, like what makes you really different, and try to just play on this card, because you know it's like something that you have more than others. And for me, it was this. It was just like I had this friend that can do an app, so okay, I'm gonna do an app. But if not, I would have never think about doing this, because it's more like I was just looking around and saying like, okay, what I can do that other can't. And for me, this, and it can be in many forms. Like maybe I know your grandparents have a piece of land somewhere, and say, okay, like I have lands. That's something that other don't. So what about I'm gonna make the best out of this? And yeah, just really looking around, like stay eyes really open and just try to get the opportunity, because most of the time the solutions, you already have them, they're already around. But if you get too stuck into like, I want to do like this guy because he did this, but if he did this is because he had something that you didn't, maybe, and so you're going to struggle way more than he did. So maybe it's not the right plan. So yeah, really adapt to what you have. Yeah.
That's the idea with Uncommon Success, rather than being like CrossFit or like Ido Portal or, you know, some business plan that's like, okay, everyone has a business like this and we all charge this much and everyone does the same training. And I never wanted to have something like that, but I wasn't really aware of it until just recently, of like, oh yeah, like I want everyone to build a different solution unique to them. You know, when Casper was here, I was talking to him about, you've deadlifted 250 kilos and you can do back somersaults and you can do all kinds of parkour stuff. Like, why are you trying to teach people how to touch your toes when you're not really good at that? You've got something really special there, like play to those strengths. And we've got Niels on the call here, who did a lot of the Ido Portal stuff and can move crazy well, but he has different values and different things that he can offer. Like finding a way to get your unique strength across. Justin just finished playing Div 1 college, American football. You know, that story and that experience is where your first opportunity is. One of the most unique guys I want to introduce you to is Nick Gallagher. Maybe you can share a little bit about what you do, Nick, and your story.
Yeah. Just about my job is right now, or I guess I can go into Kendama a little bit. Yeah. I mean, right now I'm in Japan. I've been living here for 7 months. Been playing this skill toy called Kendama for 11 years. Looks like this right here. I would love to in the next couple of months get it out to a lot of people in Uncom, build a little course for it and have a store up and running. Well, my brother has that, but for Uncom, but just getting it to people's hands, because I don't know, so many people on Uncom are so capable, and we'll have a really good knack for this. But anyway, I'm in Japan because I have a job through Kendama. I'm working for the city through just promoting the city with Kendama. And over the past 11 years, I've gone to a lot of competitions, won I guess, countless, and then became a world champion in 2018. So I guess you guys are talking about the one thing you especially have for yourself, and I guess it's, for me, it's kendama, and then I also have an identical twin brother that just is, it feels like cheating, to be honest. I feel like I've had somebody like an uncom vibe for my whole life, but now that we're separated, I really needed to find something like this, and so grateful I did. But I guess that's just in a gist, kind of what my specialties are, kind of what my life is right now, just working first city playing kendama, doing what I love, and got here. It just feels like it all just wrapped up together so well, because I've been studying Japanese for 4.5 years, which I got inspired by because I met so many players in Japan who played this, and I wanted to connect with them on a deeper level. And just after graduating college, I was able to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, do with what I love, which is kendama, and go to Japan, which is where I definitely wanted to try and live for the foreseeable future. So I guess everything has worked out. I mean, I'm in such a lower, I mean, I'm 23 and there's so much more to go, you know, I still have so much more to learn, and especially with everything, and there's so many resources in Uncom that I'm very unfamiliar with, and I plan to keep going on in the future, one by one, month by month with Mars. But I feel like, I guess I can just say for proof, I mean, Nico has, I mean, been at this for a while and doing what he, just believing in himself, having consistency and belief in the journey. And I think that is very, very powerful and where you need to go. And I feel like that I've had that for many years, discipline and consistency with the belief in myself to do what I want to do. And as you know, there's a lot of places where I want to go, but with kendama, it's taken me to exactly where I wanted to be in Japan right after college, working on my Japanese at that, and also doing what I love for a living right now. So I don't know. It's just crazy how the world works when you work so hard at something. It just gives back, I think, what you deserve in time. So I just wanted to share that for now.
Love it.
Amazing.
Thanks for sharing your story, brother. I think it shows Lachlan's heading off as well. He's over in Australia. See you, Lachlan. Yeah, we'll finish up in a minute. Like the idea that, what about if you just get really good at something and see what happens? And maybe if you get really good at one thing, then you'll have that knack of getting really good at things, and it might transfer to other things. Like that is the basic thesis of Uncommon Success, is get really good at something, share the best of what you know about that thing, ideally something about money and business, you know, building locations, whatever it is, something in the richer realm, something in the smarter realm. We spoke about chess a lot when I was there with Nico. He's quite into, you know, learning about that, but learning languages, memory games, memory tricks. If you choose to be really good at something in each of the areas, build a really strong mastermind, have great people around the world that you're connected to, become as athletic as you can be in the things that you're inspired by, and have a good baseline of general athleticism, and then learn about something to do with money, learn about something, you know, become as intelligent as you can be, and develop an area of excellence there. It's going to be pretty hard to have an unexceptional life from that point. Like you're going to be ahead of any job that you go to, or even if you're building a business, like people can see that stuff and they're like, well, you've gone that far with that stuff. It's immediately you have trust, immediately you have possibilities. So that's the thesis. And I do believe that, you know, the Bali Time Chamber has put the idea out into the minds of thousands of men of, maybe I'm not meant to be doing this alone. Like, is it possible, Nico, that you could have similar results in life based on your experience of 1 month of the Time Chamber? Is it possible that you could have similar results athletically, or even in belief in yourself, confidence on your own, relative to being in the Time Chamber?
No, I said like really 100%. There is no doubt that I would like never done what I did without guys, and it's really easy to understand. It's like there are so many like really small keys on so many aspects that when you are around guys, you cannot be stuck on something a bit stupid. And like when you're alone, many times you get stuck on something. You just like use an exercise and you try to experiment with it, just doesn't work, and then you try to find something. And if you were around guys, like one just would have told you like just, oh, try this one, boom, done, and you have like a new solution. And for me, I just unlock so many things. It's just like small details, but for example, like I've never liked like muscle ups before. I would like never do much of them because like it was like weird movement. I didn't like it. And just like one session with Flo, with like a world champion in calisthenics endurance, to shit ton of muscle ups, it just gave me like a few things on the momentum, just 2 keys, boom, changed my whole movement. And now I love it. Now it's like, okay, that's really cool. And then I put it in my walk, and for so many things, it's like this. On the dips, just a few details, like a setup, like how to put your feet, what to think about, things that I would like never think myself. Like you need to be around guys that have more experience than you, so they can give you like the details they got after 10 years of dipping, and you can have these details on the first year or 2 years. So that just changes everything. And even when I was doing Olympic weightlifting, if I progressed really well when I was doing Olympic weightlifting, is mainly because we had such a great crew at my university. We had like a bunch of guys that were 100% committed to it, and we were just meeting every day. And even when we felt tired or anything, we're just like, okay, yeah, day training, I'm going to train with you, I'm going to do this, or just one set with you and then I do this. And just like so many details, so many like motivation, inspiring thing that alone, like for sure, like 100%, I would like not done like half of what I did now.
So many men think, I'm just going to get myself in shape, I'm just going to get my discipline, and then I'll start. And
Yeah.
it's like it's not going to work like that. It's much less likely that it's going to work like that. As soon as you put yourself in the environment, like just start the thing, do the action, the power of that environment. I would love to we should do a call like this about with other guys from the time chamber as well. Maybe have like a bit of a debrief from the first ever event.
Yeah.
One of my biggest, I didn't understand the ramifications or the idea of the time chamber. I remember when you said, I'm going to call it time chamber, and all I was thinking about was that Tate had just gone to prison, and I was thinking like, I don't really want to be in a chamber, and maybe other people don't want as well. But the concept has really stuck so strongly, and it was, it's a great name, and I think that concept is really clear to people of like, you can get a lot more progress in a lot less time. Maybe we don't know the exact numbers, but for sure it just happened for you. Like you didn't even know you could dip 100 kilos right before the event. Like that was with Flo before it started. And then all of a sudden you had 120. It's like you put on 30 kilos or something, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. Like I had 100 and it was really hard. I remember I was like just grinding really hard to get it. And just a few weeks with Flow and like details and like just walking differently and just doing good programmation, way more volume on it, and quickly got 110. And now I just after like a few weeks just like got 120, and the 120 felt pretty good. Like I think I had a bit more, but I'm gonna keep it for for another time. But yeah, you see that just things can change so quickly when you have the right people around you. Yeah.
Who's staying on there? Is there any of the
Flo, the guys who are doing the muscle, and Baki, the guy, the black dude who is doing huge dips. So they both gonna stay.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it would be cool to do that debrief. There were also, I saw you had a Bitcoin related conversation and like social media conversations, and those other areas as well. Some of the content that came out was beautiful. I know some people made the first YouTube video, and they made different other things as well. It wasn't just the training gains, but that's the easiest thing to quantify. But I think probably the least important, the biggest thing is the energy and the identities, that shift and the vision for the future. Like if your vision for the future improves by just 5% of what you expect for yourself, like that's an amazing thing.
And I think like 100%, like a lot of guys changed so much in just a few days. Like when we started talking, I could see in their eyes, they were like, oh wow, that's like I was just talking about what we could do, or like just the vision of the whole thing. And I felt like, okay, they were like seeing something that they'd never seen before, and I was like, oh wow. And quickly you can see in their work, in the way they live, in the way they train, that things change a lot. And it's more about, it's just like unlocking like mind barrier that we all have. And for sure you need guys that like more experimented than you in some aspects. You need this. That's why we had like a lot of discussions where some guys had a pretty good knowledge about something they would share to everyone, so we could just learn yeah, we can learn about like the specificity of each guy, and it was really cool. Like a lot of guys, we had a physio, we had like Nicolas, who is a lot into crypto, so he got some talk to some guys who wanted to invest. Luke has a really good knowledge about content creation, social media, all of this. Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of new knowledge, and especially just a new perspective on the world. I think that's the most powerful.
Thank you so much for jumping on to share this. I really would have loved to have been there. It wasn't the time for me and for my family, but I'm really, really happy that it happened, and I appreciate you sharing bits of it along the way. I've enjoyed seeing it at a distance, and it's been very inspiring as well.
Yeah, thanks so much for your support from the beginning. So thanks so much, and you're going to be welcome anytime. So I'm sure at some point you're going to join.
For sure, it's going to happen again. The round 1 of In Real Life was excellent, and the round two is going to be powerful as well. So yeah, I appreciate all the work that you've done, man. It's like a massive amount of work to execute on what you've just done with the marketing, with recruiting people, with building the physical location. Not many men have ever done anything like that, taken anything like that on, and you've executed it beautifully and brilliantly. So yeah, respect. And I know this is only the beginning, and I can't wait to see the projects at 30 and the projects at 35. And by the time you're my age, man, it's gonna be big. I won't say it's gonna be whole countries, because I think that's what I lost the Facebook account for, but you never know.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much, and thanks everyone jumping in. Like this is a collective thing. There were a number of people from players from Uncommon Success there in the first time chamber, and I know a lot of others have plans to get there. And yeah, it's definitely been part of the belief that's fueled this thing as well. Is kind of knowing, okay, yeah, there's some people here who are definitely interested, and yeah, it means a lot to me that you want to be on the call and that you're wanting to head to Bali, and I know it means a lot to Nico as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, let's just take this really seriously, like play like professionals, like you said, and just